The J.W. Williams Funeral Directors have been proudly serving the people of this community since 1918. Service is our motto. The poor, the rich, the middle class and all are given the best of care and attention at all times. You have the privilege to select what you want. In your time of need, contact the capable, the competent, and the dependable staff of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home who is genuinely concerned with your care. At J.W. Williams Funeral Home, you are aptly served by the proprietor president, Deacon Arthur L. Parker, who continues the traditions and values set forth by the past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams. Your announcers for the J.W. Williams Funeral Home Sunday morning program are Deacon Arthur L. Parker, Reverend Isaac H. Owens, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, Minister Frankie Harmon, Miss Sandra Johnson, and Deacon Earl Clark, Jr.
Thank you, and good morning, friends. We come to you this morning to bring announcements, dedications, and songs. We certainly hope that your day may be brighter after listening to our program. The family of Mr. Columbus Henderson of Ruskin, Florida, formerly of Dooley County, Georgia. The family of Mr. Edward Buffington of Americus, Georgia, would like to thank their many friends for the food, the flowers, the condolences, and all other expressions of sympathy and kindness shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. Mr. Columbus Henderson, age 73, of 1750 Mar-a-Lago Circle, Ruskin, Florida, died Monday, December 6 at his residence in Ruskin, Florida. The funeral service for Mr. Columbus Henderson, age 73, was held Tuesday, December 21st, graveside at the Macedonia Baptist Church Cemetery, Drayton Community, Vienna, Georgia. The Reverend Johnny Dean, pastor of the New Poplar Springs Baptist Church, officiated. Survivors include his loving and devoted wife, Mrs. Katrina P. Henderson of Ruskin, Florida. His loving and devoted children, Miss Leslie Henderson of Atlanta, Georgia, and Mr. Darren Henderson of Ruskin, Florida. A host of other relatives and many sorrowing friends survive Mr. Columbus Henderson, age 73, of 1750 Mar-a-Lago Circle, Ruskin, Florida. Mr. Edward Buffington, age 75, of 175 Rockdale Subdivision Loop, Americus, Georgia, died Friday, December 17, at his residence in Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Edward Buffington, age 75, was held Thursday, December 23rd, at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home Portico in Cordele, Georgia. Minister James Leon Hughes, pastor of the Hilltop Church of Christ, officiated. Survivors include his loving and devoted wife, Mrs. Elizabeth Buffington of Americus, Georgia, his loving and devoted children, Mrs. Deborah Buffington Ford and her husband, Mr. Aaron Ford of Kathleen, Georgia, Miss Jennifer Buffington of Jonesboro, Georgia, Mr. Edward D. Buffington, Jr. of Lawrenceville, Georgia, and Miss Tammy Buffington of Miami, Florida. 10 beloved grandchildren, 8 great-grandchildren, his loving and devoted sisters, Miss Ruby Buffington and Mrs. Patricia Hudson and her husband, Leon Hudson of Miami, Florida. his beloved brothers, Mr. Albert Buffington and his wife, Mrs. Margaret Buffington, Mr. Charles Buffington, Mr. John Buffington and his wife, Mrs. Laura Buffington, and Mr. Charlie Buffington, all of Miami, Florida. A host of devoted nieces and nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Edward Buffington, age 75, of 175 Rockdale Subdivision Loop, Americus, Georgia. Again, the family of Mr. Columbus Henderson of Ruskin, Florida, formerly of Dooley County, Georgia. The family of Mr. Edward Buffington of Americus, Georgia, would like to thank their many friends for all of the many kindnesses shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. May God bless each of you is their prayer. The J.W. Williams Funeral Directors, serving Cordele and Vienna, were in charge of each of these arrangements during the past week. And now, it is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcements. Deacon Oscar Smith, age 81, of 716 Winters Creek Drive, Doraville, Georgia, died Monday, December 20th at his residence in Doraville, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted sister, Mrs. Farris Lakeler, and her husband, Dr. Johnny Lakeler, of Vienna, Georgia. His beloved brothers, Mr. Bobby Smith and his wife, Mrs. Natalie Smith, of Decatur, Georgia, and Mr. Willie Joe Smith of Memphis, Tennessee. His beloved sisters-in-law, Mrs. Emma B. Smith of Fitzgerald, Georgia, and Mrs. Carol A. Smith of Vienna, Georgia. A host of loving and devoted nieces and nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends, to include Miss Cynthia Calhoun, survived. Deacon Oscar Smith, age 81, of 716 Winters Creek Drive, Doraville, Georgia. The funeral service for Deacon Oscar Smith, age 81, will be held Monday, December 27th at 12 noon, graveside at the Vienna City Cemetery in Vienna, Georgia. Dr. Bobby G. West, pastor of the Bethel Baptist Church of Vienna, Georgia, will officiate. The public walk-up visitation will be held today from 1 until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Deacon Dennis Baxter Hamilton, age 63, of 641 Blightsmith Road, DeSoto, Georgia, died Tuesday, December 21st, at the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center in Americus, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted wife for 37 years, Miss Audria Berryhill Hamilton of DeSoto, Georgia. His loving and devoted children, Miss Jaleisha Hamilton of Americus, Georgia, Mrs. Denitra Roberts and her husband, Mr. Gamel Roberts of Water Robins, Georgia, and Mr. Dennis Denzel Hamilton of DeSoto, Georgia. His beloved and devoted sisters, Mrs. Ozzie Lundy and her husband, Bishop James Lundy of Leslie, Georgia, Mrs. Mary Jackson and her husband, Mr. Henry Jackson of Detroit, Michigan, Mrs. Betty Daraso and her husband, Deacon Arthur Daraso of DeSoto, Georgia, Mrs. Jacqueline Halton and her husband, Mr. Henry Halton of Hawkers Heights, Texas, Mrs. Regina Watts and her husband, Mr. Ricardo Watts of Albany, Georgia, Mrs. Shaletta Wilson and her husband, Mr. J. Kirby Wilson of Fort Washington, Maryland, and Ms. Lois Walker of Snickersville, New Jersey. His beloved and devoted aunts and uncles, Mr. Gentle Lee Hamilton of Miami, Florida, Mrs. Minnie Jewel King and her husband, Mr. James King of Orlando, Florida, Mrs. Emma Jean Wright of Jersey City, New Jersey, Mr. Charles Berryhill and his wife, Mrs. Martha Berryhill of Coconut Grove, Florida, Mr. John Berryhill and his wife, Mrs. Nancy Berryhill of DeSoto, Georgia, and Mr. James Berryhill of St. Mary's, Georgia. A host of devoted nieces and nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survived Deacon Dennis Baxter Hamilton, age 63, of 641 Blightsmith Road, DeSoto, Georgia. The funeral service for Deacon Dennis Baxter Hamilton, age 63, will be held Tuesday, December 28th at 12 noon, graveside at the St. John Church Cemetery in Leslie, Georgia. His pastor, the Reverend Calvin James, pastor of the St. John Baptist Church in Leslie, Georgia, will officiate. The public walk-up visitation will be held Monday from 12 noon until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mother Annie Ruth Smith Davis, age 94, 109 Arcadia Street, Americus, Georgia, died Thursday, December 23rd at the Lydian Carter Health and Rehabilitation Center in Plains, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted children, Mrs. Dorothy Patterson, and Mr. Eddie Davis and his wife, Mrs. Cynthia B. Davis, all of Americus, Georgia. 9 loving and devoted grandchildren, Mrs. LaQuacia Davis, Miss Shelby Davis, Mr. Flint Davis, Mr. Eric Patterson, Mr. Christopher Wilkerson, Mr. Obie Wilkerson III, Mr. Kenneth Toots, Mr. Trenton Toots, and Miss Diana Dalfall. 7 beloved great-grandchildren, a beloved God sister, Mrs. Margaret Mathis, a host of other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mother Annie Ruth Smith Davis, age 94, 109 Arcadia Street, Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for Mother Annie Ruth Smith Davis, age 94, will be held Wednesday, December 29th at 12 noon on the grounds of Restoration Church of America's, the Reverend George Edge, pastor. The burial will follow at the Eastview Cemetery in Americus, Georgia. The public walk-up visitation will be Tuesday, December 28th from 12 noon until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mrs. Ella Marie Montfort Cuffey, age 71, of 204 West 25th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Wednesday, December 22nd, at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted children, Mr. Lonnie Leonard Cuffey of Austin, Texas, Mr. Tracy Quinton Cuffey of Bon Air, Georgia, and Miss Cindy Marie Cuffey Tatum and her husband, Mr. Mike Tatum of Cordele, Georgia. 8 beloved and devoted grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, a beloved sister, Miss Lola Mikey, and her husband, Mr. Durrell Mikey of Cordele, Georgia, a host of devoted nieces and nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mrs. Ella Marie Montfort Cuffey, age 71, of 204 West 25th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Ella Marie Montfort Cuffey, age 71, will be held Friday, December 31st at 11 a.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home Portico in Cordele, Georgia. Brother Eddie Lee Sutton of the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses will officiate. The burial will follow at the Westview Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. The public walk-up visitation will be Thursday, December 30th from 12 noon until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mother Catherine Henderson White, age 79, of 307 West 18th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, December 21st at the Miller County Hospital in Colquitt, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted daughters, Miss Nashay White of Warner Robins, Georgia, Miss Ruth West, and Miss Gwendolyn Henderson, both of Cordele, Georgia. Her beloved son, Mr. Courtney White of Cordele, Georgia. 8 loving and devoted grandchildren, a host of great-grandchildren, a beloved sister, Miss Essie Gay of Cordele, Georgia, a host of nieces and nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Ms. Mother Catherine Henderson White, age 79, of 307 West 18th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mother Catherine Henderson White, age 79, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Nicholas Gerard Grant, age 32, of 508 West 18th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Saturday, December 25th at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted wife, Mrs. Vicki Grant of Cordele, Georgia, his beloved and devoted mother, Mrs. Cassandra Grant Harris of Cordele, Georgia, his beloved father, Mr. Rodney Davis of Cordele, Georgia, his loving sisters, Mrs. Krista L. Grant and Miss Sonia Tarvert, both of Cordele, Georgia, a beloved brother, Mr. Jonathan Grant of Albany, Georgia, his beloved and devoted grandparents, Mrs. Johnny Mae Smith and her husband, Elder William Smith of Cordele, Georgia, a host of beloved aunts and uncles, many cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Nicholas Gerard Grant, age 32, of 508 West 18th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Nicholas Gerard Grant will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Eddie Gaines, age 57, of 1649 Welch Worley Road, Cordele, Georgia, died early this morning, December 26, at the Tiff Regional Hospital in Tifton, Georgia. Survivors include a beloved son, Mr. Octavius Gaines of Smyrna, Georgia, his loving and devoted sisters, Miss Cynthia Jones and her husband, the Reverend Dion Jones, and Miss Teresa Mallett and her husband, Mr. Albert Mallett, a host of other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Eddie Gaines, age 57, of 1649 Welch Worley Road, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Eddie Gaines, age 57, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. The J.W. Williams Funeral Directors serving Cordele and Vienna are in charge of each of these arrangements during this week. Friends, that conclude our funeral notices for this morning. And as always, we do remind you concerning our pre-funeral arrangements planning available at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home, with packages available with a single pay, a 3-year pay, a 5-year pay, and a 10-year pay. So please stop by and talk with us concerning your pre-funeral arrangements needs available at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. And also whole life insurance is available at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home.
Dear Heavenly Father, God, thank you for helping us to make it through this difficult year. Thank you that you carried us through the uncertainty of deep waters, through the flames of trials, and through the pain of hard losses. We are constantly aware how much we need you, your grace, your strength, your power, working through even the toughest days. Help us to keep our focus first on you this season. Please forgive us for giving too much time and attention to other things, for looking to other people before coming to you first. Help us to reflect again on what Christmas and what a new year is really all about. Thank you that you came to give new life, peace, hope, and joy. Thank you that your power is made perfect in our weakness. Help us to remember that the gift of Christ, Emmanuel, is our greatest treasure, not just at Christmas, but for the whole year through. Fill us with your joy and the peace of your spirit. Direct our hearts and minds towards you. Thank you for the reminder that both in seasons of celebration and in seasons of brokenness, you're still with us, for you never leave us. Thank you for your daily powerful presence in our lives, that we may be assured your heart is towards us, your eyes are ever over us, and your ears are open to hear our prayers. Thank you that you surround us with favor, as with a shield, we are safe in your care. May this merry season bring glory to your life, peace to your mind, and joy to your heart. This prayer of love and hope for each of you comes from the President, CEO, staff, and management of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Season's greetings. We pray each of you had a wonderful Christmas, and as we look forward to a coming year, we're thankful for every blessing that the Lord has allowed us to enjoy. Happy New Year from each of us at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. And now for our community announcements. Everyone is cordially invited to worship at the New Poplar Spring Baptist Church today. Worship service will begin this morning you may join them via conference call by calling 229. You may call them via conference call by calling them on their conference call number at 229. And everyone, again, you're invited to worship with them at the New Poplar Spring Baptist Church. And again, you may join them via conference call by calling 253-993-3761. The Spring Hill Baptist Church invites everyone to drive up and worship with them each first and third Sunday, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. Sister Mary Ann Lewis is the secretary. Deacon Sam Anderson is the chairman of deacons. Reverend Choice Cobb Sr. is the pastor. Christ Chapel Unadilla weekly food pantry is open every Saturday from 9 a.m. until 12 o'clock noon. Ms. Jeanette Taylor, pastor relief trainer. The Ebenezer Baptist Church service will be held via conference call. The call-in number is 346-248-7799. The passcode is 228-890-9553. Their worship service begins at 11 o'clock a.m. Deacon Morris McClendon is the chairman of deacons. Reverend Samuel Stokes is the pastor. The Evergreen Baptist Church invites everyone to worship with them each fourth Sunday, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. Face masks are required and social distancing will be practiced. Sister Bertha L. Thomas is the secretary. Deacon John David Law is the chairman. Reverend David Thomas is the pastor. The Greater Mars Tabernacle Baptist Church invites everyone to worship with them today via Facebook Live. You may join them at 9 o'clock a.m. for their worship service. The conference call-in number to call in and worship is 229-329-7611. You're also reminded of Tuesday midday prayer conference that held at 12 o'clock noon. Thursday prayer meeting and Bible study is held at 6 o'clock p.m. Again, that call-in number is 229-329-7611. Mother Lucille Shazer, church mother. Deacon Arthur L. Parker, chairman of deacons. Dr. K.M. Williams is the pastor. The Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church invites everyone to pull up and praise with them each Sunday morning, beginning at 10 o'clock a.m. They are located at 1818 U.S. Highway 41 North in Cordele. Reverend Gregory Williams is the pastor. You're invited to worship at the St. King Baptist Church. Worship service each first and third Sunday at 8 o'clock a.m. for an hour of prayer and worship, at 9 o'clock a.m. for Sunday school, and at 10:15 a.m. worship service. Reverend Woody Burnham is the pastor. The Mount Zion First African Baptist Church extends a cordial invitation to everyone to worship with them. Sunday morning worship service at 10 o'clock a.m. Prayer Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 o'clock noon. Bible study is held each Wednesday at 5 o'clock p.m. The conference calling number is 339-209-6419. Deacon Joe Wedges is the chairman of deacons. Dr. Dan James III is the pastor. The Gethsemane Baptist Church extends a cordial invitation to everyone to worship with them via Zoom. You may call them. You may join them on via Zoom at 10:30 a.m. The call-in number is 312-626-6799. The meeting ID number is 856-033-64163. The passcode is 073213. Bible study is held each Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. You may join them via conference call by calling 229-234-9066. Mother Mary Butler is the church mother. Deacon Johnny Wilson is the chairman of deacons. Brother Cecil Strother is the pastor. The New Oak Grove Baptist Church will have in-house worship service today at 10 o'clock a.m. Deacon Alonzo Jones is the chairman of deacons. Reverend W.W. Wilson is the pastor. The Davis Chapel CME Church will have worship service each second and fourth Sunday, beginning at 10 o'clock a.m. Face masks are required. Brother Ruby Barrett is the chairman of deacons. Brother Arnell Wilburn is the pastor. Everyone is invited to worship with the Mount Calvary Baptist Church today. You may join them via Facebook Live at 10:30 a.m. Mother Evelyn Lewis, church mother. Deacon Leon Spears, chairman of deacons. Reverend Isaac Owens is the pastor. Again, the MD White's Medical Institute, the former A.S. Clark School, will be conducting both the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccine on Wednesday and Friday from 10 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. Vaccination shots for children from 5 to 12 are now being offered, as well as the booster. Walk-in visits are acceptable. Appointments are not required. Dr. Matthew W. Whitus, MD. This will conclude our announcements for today.
And now for dedication. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following: in memory of Mr. Willie Bubba Brooks, who departed this life December 22nd, 2011. Dedication requested by the Brooks and Jackson families, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mrs. Sheila Pickens Barber, who departed this life December 12th, 2020. Dedication requested by the Pickens, Barber, Scurry, and White families. Precious memory lingers still. In loving memory of Deacon Leroy Nelson, who would have celebrated his birthday December 23rd, dedication requested by his beloved granddaughter, Dr. Bammy Hayes Brown, and the entire Nelson family, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Deacon Leonard Gary, who would have celebrated his birthday December 24th, dedication requested by his beloved family and the members of the Mount Zion First African Baptist Church, where he served as chairman of deacons for many, many years. Gone but not forgotten, Deacon Leonard Gary. In loving memory of Mr. Curtis Weaver, who departed this life December 25th, 2007, dedication requested by his beloved daughter, Mrs. Minnie Ann Jackson. Precious memory lingers still. In loving memory of Mrs. Willie Pearl Davis, who would have celebrated her birthday December 25th, dedication requested by her beloved sister, Mrs. Mary Frances Davis, and the entire family, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mother Lovey Sanders, who would have celebrated her birthday December 25th, dedication requested by her beloved daughter, Miss Easter May Sanders, her granddaughter, Miss Annette, and Mr. George Felton, her great-granddaughter, Miss Kimberly Felton, and the entire family. Precious memory lingers still. In loving memory of our beloved Mrs. Tommy Lee Hudgen, who departed this life December 26, 2006, dedication requested by her beloved family, gone but not forgotten. And all of the members of the Gethsemane Missionary Baptist Church, pause and remember the life of Mrs. Tommy Lee Hudgen. Precious memory lingers still. In loving memory of Mrs. Arthenia Davis, who would have celebrated her birthday December 26th, dedication requested by her beloved family. Precious memory lingers still. In loving memory of Mrs. Pearl Corbin, who who departed this life December 26, 1976. Dedication requested by her beloved daughter and son-in-law, Mother Van Esther and Deacon Willie Colson, her grandson, the Reverend Ivory Corbin, and the entire family. Pause and remember Mother Pearlie Corbin, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mr. Bruce Davis Sr., who would have celebrated his birthday December 27, dedication requested by his beloved children, and his aunt, Mrs. Mary Frances Davis, and the entire family member, Mr. Bruce Davis Sr., gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mrs. Charlotta Demetrius Smith, who departed this life December 27, 2006. Dedication requested by the Smith and Martin family and her beloved nephew, Deacon Kenneth E. Smith Jr., gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Deacon Johnny James Pickens, who would have celebrated his birthday December 31st, dedication requested by his children and the entire family. Deacon Johnny James Pickens, gone but not forgotten. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following. Happy 24th anniversary to our friend and brother and his beloved wife, Mr. Maurice and Mrs. Charsley Roundtree, who celebrated their anniversary on Sunday, December 19th. Dedication requested by their beloved children and the staff of Little Blessing Daycare Center. Happy 24th anniversary to Mr. Maurice and Miss Charsley Roundtree. God continue to bless your union and keep it strong. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following. Happy birthday to Mrs. Brenda Frederick, who celebrated her birthday Tuesday, December 21st. Dedication requested by her beloved husband, Deacon Gregory Frederick. Happy birthday to Mrs. Brenda Frederick on December the 21st. Happy birthday to Mrs. Melissa Hoggebrook, who celebrated her birthday Saturday, December 25th. Dedication requested by her husband, her beloved mother, Mother Minnie Fletcher. Happy birthday to Mrs. Melita Jackson, who is celebrating her birthday today, December 26th. Dedication requested by the Brooks and Jackson family. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following. Deacon James Smith and family, Deacon Johnny and Sister Vera Perry and family, Vienna, Georgia, Mother Mary Benjamin and family, Mrs. Calden Johnson Wallace and family, Mr. Mantle Lee Johnson and family, Mr. Willie B. Barnes and family, Vienna, Georgia, Chairman Deacon Morris McClendon and family of Vienna, Georgia, the Ebenezer Baptist Church, the Riggins family of Vienna, Georgia. Our first selection this morning goes out to Deaconess President Cassandra Jones Jackson and family, Ms. Wanda Edward Stevens and family, Deacon and Mrs. Samuel Mills and family, Deacon John David Law, Chairman of the Board of Deacons of the Evergreen Baptist Church of Pinehurst, Georgia, Deacon and Mrs. Vet T. Crane and family of Pinehurst, Georgia, Sister Bertha Thomas and family, Deacon and Mrs. Lauren Wellens and family, Mrs. Lenora McNeil and family, the family of the late Mother Cortez Redding, Mrs. Dorothy Lucas and family, Mrs. Jackie Leonard and family, Deacon Joette Clark and family, Deacon and Mrs. Oscar Cook and family, Chairman of the Board of Deacons of the Friendship Baptist Church of DeSoto, Georgia, Deacon and Mrs. Dan Colson and family, Mr. Johnny and Mrs. Barbara Dennis and family, Mrs. Lucille McGill and family, Mrs. Gwen Westbrook and family, Chairman Deacon Sammy and Sister Shanice McGill and family, Deacon George and Miss Ann Whitehead and family, Mrs. Geraldine Harvey and family, Mother Willie McGill and family, Deacon Eugene and Mrs. Deborah Williams and family, Mr. Dravian and Miss Kathy McGill and family, Mrs. Jerry Grant and family. Ms. Mary Thomas and family, Ms. Brenda Webb and family, the Fagan family, Mrs. Betty Webb and family, Mrs. Tawana Webb and family, Mr. Travis Webb and family, Ms. Doris Wise and family, Mr. Johnny and Mrs. Juanita Tarbert and family, Minister, the Reverend and Mrs. Layfield Buckholz and family, Miss Lucy Baker and family, Mother Lucille Shazer, age 108. Deacon Dave Chambliss and family. Mr. and Mrs. Jamie Chambliss and family. The family of the late Deacon Johnny L. Cobb and family. Mother Atline Lofton and family of Araby, Georgia. Mrs. Mattie Mays and family. Mother Adolis Butts and family of Leesburg, Georgia. Deacon Lonnie Clayton and family of Dooley County. Mrs. Brenda Redney and family. Mr. Freddie Bembry and family. Mrs. Viola L. Adams and family. Mrs. Liam Wright and family. Mrs. Lynette Ross of the family of the late Mother Ida Rose Oliver, Mrs. Jean Oliver Burks and family, Deacon Sammy, Mrs. Fanny Montfred and family, Mr. Charlie and Mrs. Ruby Jean Ross and family, Mrs. Cheryl Allen Young and family, Dr. Bobby G. and Mrs. Melba West and family, Mrs. Christine Anderson and family of Diana, Georgia, Mrs. Margaret Jordan, retired educator, Ms. Hilda Ray and family, Mr. Terry Boston and family, Dr. Christopher West and family, the Reverend Lord Haskett and family, Minister Sharonda Town and family, Mrs. Shireen James and family. Our first election this morning goes out to the Leary family of Hatley, Georgia, and the Carter family of Hatley, Georgia. Our first election for this morning. It is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcements. Deacon Oscar Smith, age 81, of 716 Winters Creek Drive, Doraville, Georgia, died Monday, December 20th at his residence in Doraville, Georgia. The funeral service for Deacon Oscar Smith, age 81, will be held Monday, December 27th at 12 noon, graveside at the Vienna City Cemetery in Vienna, Georgia. Dr. Bobby G. West, pastor of the Bethel Baptist Church in Vienna, Georgia, will officiate. The public walk-up visitation will be held today from 12 noon until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Deacon Dennis Baxter Hamilton, age 63, of 641 Blight Smith Road, DeSoto, Georgia, died Tuesday, December 21st at the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center in Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for Deacon Dennis Baxter Hamilton, age 63, will be held Tuesday, December 28th at 12 noon, graveside at the St. John Church Cemetery in Leslie, Georgia. His pastor, the Reverend Calvin James, pastor of the St. John Baptist Church in Leslie, Georgia, will officiate. The public walk-up visitation will be held Monday from 12 noon until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mother Annie Ruth Smith Davis, age 94, 109 Acadia Street, Americus, Georgia, died Thursday, December 23rd at the Lillian Carter Health and Rehabilitation Center in Plains, Georgia. The funeral service for Mother Annie Ruth Smith Davis, age 94, will be held Wednesday, December 29th at 12 noon on the grounds of Restoration Church in Americus, Georgia. The Reverend George Edge, pastor. The burial will follow at the Eastview Cemetery in Americus, Georgia. The public walk-up visitation will be Tuesday, December 28th from 12 noon until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mrs. Ella Marie Montfort Cuffey, age 71, of 204 West 25th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Wednesday, December 22nd at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Ella Marie Montfort Cuffey, age 71, will be held Friday, December 31st at 11 a.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home Portico in Cordele, Georgia. Brother Eddie Lee Sutton of the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses will officiate. The burial will follow at the Westview Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. The public walk-up visitation will be held Thursday, December 30th from 12 noon until 5 p.m. at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. Mother Catherine Henderson White, age 79, of 307 West 18th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Tuesday, December 21st at the Miller County Hospital in Colquitt, Georgia. The funeral service for Mother Catherine Henderson White, age 79, will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Nicholas Gerard Grant, age 32, of 508 West 18th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Saturday, December 25th at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Nicholas Gerard Grant, age 32, will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Eddie Gaines, age 57, of 1649 Welch Worley Road, Cordele, Georgia, died early this morning, December 26, at the Tift Regional Hospital in Tifton, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Eddie Gaines, age 57, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. The J.W. Williams Funeral Directors, serving Cordele and Vienna, are in charge of each of these arrangements during this week. Our next and final selection for this morning is dedicated to the bereaved families whose loved ones were laid to rest during the past week. The family of Mr. Columbus Henderson of Ruskin, Florida. The family of Mr. Edward Buffington of Americus, Georgia. This selection is dedicated to the bereaved families whose loved ones will be laid to rest during this week. The family of Deacon Oscar Smith of Doraville, Georgia, and Dooley County, Georgia. The family of Deacon Dennis Baxter Hamilton of DeSoto, Georgia. The family of Mother Annie Ruth Smith Davis of Americus, Georgia. The family of Miss Ella Marie Montfort Cuffey of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mother Catherine Henderson White of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Nicholas Gerard Grant of Cordele, Georgia. And the family of Mr. Eddie Gaines of Cordele, Georgia. This selection is dedicated to all of the sick and shut in, to all patients at the local and surrounding hospitals, nursing homes, and rehabilitation centers, to our beloved ministers and their devoted family members, to all retired educators, to the men and women serving in our armed forces, both stateside and abroad, to all veterans, and to everyone who listens to our program on each Sunday morning. It's a pleasure for us to bring it to you. Our program goes out in memory of our past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams, to my wife, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, to my son, Jai Wilkerson Parker, to my mother-in-law, Mrs. Billy Ann Hall, and family. This election goes out to my brother, retired Chief Master Sergeant Norman F. Dexter, and his wife, Dr. Gwendolyn Maxine Dexter, and our son, grandson Noble, and my niece, Miss Toria Dexter, who are all visiting during the Christmas holiday. This election goes out to my sister, Miss Maddie Mae Johnson, better known as Sister Girl, and Miss Maddie Mae, Mrs. Patsy Jackson, her husband, Mr. Jim Jackson of Cordele, Georgia. This election goes out to my nephew, Deacon Kenneth Smith, program chairman of the Greater Morris Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. Goes out to our pastor, Dr. K.M. Williams, to his wife, Sister Kathy Williams, and their family during this Christmas season. This election goes out to my neighbor, Mrs. Theron Jones, and family, and the entire Jones and Tarbert family, Mother Dorothy Tarbert and family, to Mr. Johnny and Mrs. Juanita Tarbert and family, Deacon and Mrs. Donald Tarbert and family, Deacon and Mrs. John Stubbs and family. This election goes out to Mrs. Ethel Perry and family, Vienna, Georgia, Mrs. Margaret Perry and family, the entire family of Mother Pearlie Mae Perry, gone but not forgotten. This election this morning goes out to Deacon S. Martha Cross and family, Mrs. Willie Mae Leary and family, Deacon Earl Leary and family, Miss Patricia Leary and family, Mr. Eddie Leary and family, Mrs. Mitt Redden and family, Mr. William Carter and the entire Carter families, Geneva Curry and family. This selection goes out to Mrs. Martha Westbrook and family of Araby, Georgia, and the children of the late Mother Lucille Westbrook, Mr. and Mrs. Lonnie Walker, and family. This selection goes out to Mr. Cleveland R. Lemon, oldest staff member of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home. And again, to each and everyone who listens to our program on each Sunday morning. Our final selection this morning goes out to Mother Jessica Kate Harmon and family, and Mrs. Eddie Mae Cook and family, Mrs. Annette Stenbridge and family.
So I want every blood washed believer to not wait until then. And if you've ever gone through something, you know right here that there's something about the next something else. Something about the name Jesus. Something about the name. Something about the name Jesus. It's the sweetest name. Yeah. It is the sweetest name. Sweetest name I know. And I love that name. Oh, how I love the name Jesus. It's the sweetest name. It's the sweetest name. Let's take a minute. Explain to me what you really trying to say. Don't say something. Some people say I'm crazy, but I can't explain. I can't explain. The power, the power in the field. When you call this name, when I call your name, that fire, and it's just what I say. Where's it? Where's it? Holy Ghost, when the Holy Ghost gets a moving, said it won't leave me alone. Everybody, something about the name Jesus. Something about the name. Something about the name Jesus. It's the sweetest name, yeah. It is the sweetest name. Sweetest name I know. Wave at me if you love that name. Oh, how I love the name Jesus. Oh, how I love the name Jesus. It's the sweetest name, yeah. It is the sweetest name. I want you to tell Detroit for a minute how sweet. Sweeter than honey. Said it's sweeter than honey. Yes, I'm going to war. Oh, that will keep my wing. Oh, child.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We hope you've enjoyed our program. Tune in again on next Sunday morning. Remember, in your time of need, contact the competent, capable, and dependable staff at the J.W. Williams Funeral Home.